I was quite adept at the piano, and I even had like an hour-long piano recital I gave as a senior in high school. I definitely could have pursued that and been perfectly happy had I enjoyed practicing more. But now that I had this composition thing that I was even more inclined to do, I was starting to think, well, how do I make a career out of that maybe instead? Is it possible? Because I wasn't having people telling me, okay, here's how you make, here's how you get commissions, which pay you money, and here's how you do this or that, and here's how royalties work, which supplements your income, and all of those things. I mean, most high school students don't really get the business side of something so specific as a music composition career. So I looked and looked around and see who are the composers who seem to be making a great living. And, you think film scores are really prominent. John Williams is doing quite well from writing music. And his music also was doing things that I wanted music to do. I wanted it to describe things and make you feel things. And, the stuff that music does at this really amazing level that's hard to describe sometimes. I was thinking, well, maybe I could pursue film scoring, and that would be a good career to have and let me keep on composing and just enjoy the rest of my music career. And so that helped me shape like where I was looking at undergrad programs. University of Southern California came up, and this was also partly because I was meeting people from USC at the Sarasota Music Festival and asking people about what colleges they go to and what are the opportunities. And I mean, USC, it's right next to Hollywood. It's got a super famous film school, which is actually physically right next to the music school. It's really great. And I thought it would be something that I'd enjoy doing as a composer. And so I decided to go to USC. I managed to, work my way towards going there. And the way that the program was working, so it was unusual. It was the one place that had a 4-year program that included composition and a film scoring certificate. Most places, the film scoring certificate would be a separate program. And currently it is that way because it was actually too much. The way it was structured. I know some people who did that. My year was actually the last one, I think, where they allowed you to do both within 4 years. And it was insanity for those who did. By that point, I had actually decided not to pursue that anymore, but it was a normal composition 4-year degree. Plus you did the film scoring thing as much as you could during the fourth year. So that's just like a little too much of, there's not enough time during that last year to really do both, but it was great. I got to work with some students who were in the film school who were directors and try out film scoring. I got really lucky to work with someone who wanted to write movies about musicians. And I realized after I did these that this is not the normal experience. Most of the time, you're not writing music that's being performed on screen, and all the characters are musicians dealing with music things.
Right.
This was just this one director that I met who really enjoyed that. Most of the time, film scorers are writing music that serves something else that isn't necessarily a musical-driven plot. So I also experienced a little of that, and it wasn't as enjoyable as I wanted it to be. I think at that point I was realizing, like, what more could I do when I wanted to write music for myself and for the things that I wanted to write about. And I didn't really want to be told, okay, this needs to be this long and this mood and use this style and all of those things. I'd rather just write the music the way I wanted it to. And the story you hear about John Williams writing, it's the chase scene in E.T., where Spielberg wanted to cut it down to a different length. And Williams said, I can't musically, I can't mess with it anymore. And then Spielberg recut the scene to fit the music. That doesn't normally happen. It's the other way around. And so I got to see a little bit about what the industry was like. So I'm glad that I wasn't like doing film scoring as from day one there. I was getting a true composition degree from day one. And then I was able to choose in my 4th year whether to do the film scoring or not. And I chose not to at that point. I wanted to stick with concert music.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Micromaker by Loose Leaf Transmissions. We hope you enjoyed this brief glimpse into the inner workings of the creative life. If this resonated with you, be sure to check out the full conversation on Music Maker with Tyler Kline, a podcast exploring craft and process, philosophy and inspiration, and the honest, often messy parts of being an artist, creative uncertainty, purpose and identity, and resilience. You can find Music Maker wherever you get your podcasts or by visiting musicmakerpodcast.com.